Hi, I am Dr. Harish Ken, Assistant Professor, Department of Chemistry, Dayanand Sar College of Engineering, Bangalore. Hi, welcome to the corrosion control session. Nothing but we are preventing the corrosion. So one of the most familiar method is sacrificial anodic method. So it is one of the cathodic protection methods. At the end of this session, you will be able to define sacrificial anode. You will be able to explain the mechanism of sacrificial anodic method. You will be able to identify the sacrificial anode and place of corrosion for a given situation. So at the end of this session, you will be able to enumerate the advantages and disadvantages of this method. Before going to this method, we need to understand what is galvanic corrosion. Now, all of you are familiar with this galvanic corrosion. So I'll explain in briefly. When two dissimilar metals are contact with each other in the presence of a corrosive medium, the more active metal acts as anode and undergo corrosion. The thumb rule of this galvanic corrosion is, so identifying anodic area and cathodic area, so completely depends upon their reduction potential of the metal. The metal with low standard reduction potential so act as anode, undergo corrosion. So and the metal with high standard reduction potential acts as a cathode. So and is protected. Anodic area undergo corrosion, whereas cathodic area will be remain unaffected. So this can be better understood by electrochemical series. In an electrochemical series, the metals are arranged based on their standard reduction potential. You can see, for example, if copper and zinc, you take two metals, are placed in a corrosive environment. Zinc has a lower electrode potential taken as anode, whereas copper has higher reduction potential taken as cathode. So this can be better. So understood from electrochemical series, you can see. So the electrode reduction potential is arranged in an order. For example, if you take few more examples, iron and zinc, lead and nickel, tin and iron. In all the cases, so the metal which is having lower reduction potential is taken as anode, whereas the metal with higher reduction potential taken as cathode. So now we are moving to the sacrificial anodic method. First, we'll understand what is cathodic protection. The metal to be protected is completely converted into cathode. The metal to be protected is forcing to act as a cathode so that we can prevent the corrosion of the metal. So in sacrificial anodic method, the metal to be protected is connected to a more anodic metal, so more active metal, so in an electrochemical series, so with a wire, so that the active metal acts as a sacrificial anode and undergo corrosion and protecting the cathode. So in this method, our aim is to identify the more active metal from the electrochemical series. So compared to metal to protected, we need to identify more active metal from the galvanic series or from the electrochemical series. But here, why we are calling it as a sacrificial anode or sacrificial anodic method. So this I will tell you in the next slide. So sacrificial anode can be taken as magnesium, zinc, aluminum, and their alloys. So magnesium, zinc, and aluminum are their reduction potential is very less compared to other metals, and also these metals are very active compared to other metals. So this can be understood from electrochemical series. The required conditions. So in order to have the metal to be corrosion, generally, so these are the required condition not to protect the metal. So these are the condition required for the corrosion to take place. So what are those? Cathode, anode, and electrolyte. So in this case, particularly the cathode is metal to be protected. So it may be iron pipe, steel pipe, or storage tanks. So sacrificial anode, what we are taking is magnesium, zinc, and aluminum. So because these are more active metal compared to other metals. So in the electrochemical series, electrolyte is water, humidity, and the corrosive medium. Apart from these three conditions, one more condition is there. So that is anode and cathode should be connected with each other, physically contact with each other, or at least with a wire, externally connected with at least wire, so that then only electrons move from anode to cathode. So we'll understand better in the mechanism of this sacrificial anode method. In this method, our aim is to protect the metal object from corrosion. Here, the metal to be protected is, it may be iron pipeline, steel pipeline, or storage tanks. We are considering this iron pipe is buried under the ground. Now, we need to identify the more active metal from the electrochemical series. Zinc, magnesium, aluminum are more active than iron pipeline. Now, so this zinc or magnesium block are also buried under the ground, so which is near to the iron pipeline. These two metals are connected with a wire, externally connected with a wire. Now, two dissimilar metals are contact with each other. The metal with the which is having lower reduction potential taken as anode. So this is what the galvanic corrosion. Now, anode and zinc or magnesium are more active, so it is considered as anode method. So they are active metals, so that's why it is a anode undergo corrosion. So whereas undergo corrosion and it releases electron, the electrons will move from so anode to the cathode. At cathode, so this iron pipeline accept this electron and reduction reaction taking place. Right. So that's why this iron pipeline is remains unaffected. Right. It is protected. So why this method is called as a sacrificial anode method? Because anode is sacrificing itself to prevent the corrosion of the cathode. So that's why this method is called sacrificial anodic method. So this was very simple. So we'll see the practical applications of this sacrificial anodic method. So I'll read this line. Hull of a ship rests at the stern, so which is made from the mild steel, which is closer to the manganese bronze propellers, and seawater acts as the electrolyte. So we'll understand one by one. Hull of a ship is the bottom of the ship. So stern, so which is the body of the ship, which is made from the mild steel. So and manganese bronze propellers. Propellers are placed at the back side of the ship. So propellers need to be stronger. So that's why it is made from the manganese bronze alloy, and seawater acts as electrolyte. Here you see, so what will happen? So this manganese bronze, it is a metal. So it's an alloy, is connected with a mild steel, which is the body of the ship. When two dissimilar metals are contact with each other, so the metal which is having lower reduction potential undergo corrosion. So according to electrochemical series, manganese bronze are high electrode potential, whereas mild steel is less electrode potential. Since mild steel is less electrode potential, which is the body of the ship, so which will undergo anode and undergo corrosion. But we don't want this process to take place. We want to prevent the corrosion of a steel, so mild steel, which is the body of a ship. Now what we can do, so we'll go to electrochemical series and we'll select a more active metal compared to steel. Zinc is a more active metal compared to steel. Now what we're doing, we're taking a zinc sheet. So zinc sheet we are fixing onto the mild steel. So zinc sheet is fixing to the fixing above the mild steel. You can see, so this is what is zinc sheet. So zinc sheet above the mild steel, whereas one more side, so it is not fixed. But for your understanding, so only one side this zinc sheet is fixed. So in another side we left it blank. Now what will happen? You see, so manganese bronze propeller is there. It's an alloy. It is contact with a mild steel, which is the body of a ship, and the zinc sheet. So now you forget about the manganese bronze propeller for some time. Now zinc sheet is above the mild steel. So mild steel and zinc sheet are both in contact with each other. What will happen? So same galvanic corrosion principle. The metal which is having lower reduction potential undergo anode and undergoes corrosion. Zinc is more active than steel. Zinc will undergo corrosion. So whereas mild steel, which is body of the ship, which is protected from corrosion. So but this zinc sheet, zinc sheet should supposed to be fixed on both sides. For your understanding, only one side it is fixed. So at this, during this process, seawater acts as the electrolyte. So this what about the practical applications of this sacrificial anodic method. So we'll see other uses of sacrificial anodic method. So we'll see the sacrificial anodics and its uses. Magnesium, zinc, and aluminum are more active metals compared to other metals in a galvanic series. Among these three metals, magnesium has lower reduction potential. Right? So because of this, we are using this magnesium as a sacrificial anode on onshore pipeline applications. Onshore applications where soil resistivity is higher or water resistivity is higher. So this magnesium, why we are using in onshore application? Because magnesium is very active, and at the same time it is a lower reduction potential, whereas zinc and aluminum are used in offshore applications, so used in saltwater So where the resistivity is generally lower. So apart from this application, so these metals are used as a sacrificial anodes in hull surface ships and boats, boat propellers and ruders. So even in ship propellers also we can use these metals. Offshore pipelines and production of platforms, internal surface of storage tanks, salt water cooled marine engines. Right. So these are the applications of sacrificial anode method. Like other methods, like any method, they have own advantages and disadvantages. So similarly, this method also has own advantages and disadvantages. So what are the advantages? First we will see. So no external power source is required. So since we are using here, two metals are connected through external wire, so there is no power supply. Power supply is not required for this experiment, but only one condition is that both anode and cathode should be physically contacted with each other. That's what the one condition, and it's very easy to install. Does not require over protection. That means since we are not using power source, so over protection is not required. Inspection and monitoring is simple for trained person. So there are the limitation. The limitation is, the main limitation of this method is the sacrificial anode has to be replaced periodically. So because what will happen, anode sacrificing itself to prevent the corrosion of a cathode. So that's why in that case anode itself is dissolving. So when the anode is dissolving, you need to replace it periodically. If you're not replacing it, what will happen? The metal to be protected will undergo corrosion. So hence periodic maintenance is required. Ineffectiveness in high resistivity environments, increased weight on the protected structure, because the cathode, the metal to be protected, is bolted with another metal, another active metal, so that automatically the weight of the structure will be increased. So increased air and water flow on moving structure such as ships. So this what about the sacrificial anodic method. Thank you.